chilling.
Welcome to SportsMafiaPodcast. I'm your host, Ben, and I'm here today with Cole, Jacob, and Xander. We're missing Jackson today. He is currently not here, but Xander's filling in, and he's going to be in the next couple episodes, probably following for the rest of the season. Who knows? He will be here forever. Um, Today we have a couple topics to cover. We're going to cover, some current news um, regarding coaches that have been fired recently. The college football championship, which happened last night, playoff power rankings, playoff bracket, and we're going to do our playoff predictions. So, honestly, to get right into it, I think we'll just start with NFL coaches who have been fired pretty quickly after last Sunday and Monday's game. So, just to get into it, we'll start with Joe Judge from the Giants being fired. Um, didn't really see a whole lot out of him. Not really expecting a whole lot out of him in the future. I don't think he's even going to get picked up. Giants had an awful year. Saquon was out. They have Danny Dimes at quarterback, so there's just nowhere to go with that. Um, they're just a pretty poverty team right now, and they're going to need a lot to pick it up. And I don't know if a head coach will change everything, but I think the first part with firing Joe Judge was a huge step forward for them. And yeah, I'll just pass it on to whoever wants to pick it up next.
Yeah, Joe Judge, he should have been fired the first day, but he was fired today. Um, Joe Judge being fired was not even the only good thing that happened for the Giants. Dave Gettleman retiring was the best thing that happened for the Giants because, gosh, he was terrible. Uh, yeah, they're heading in the right direction. That's all you can really ask for, I guess. But yeah, he wasn't very good.
Hell yeah.
Judge was an awful coach from day one. He sucked. Giants were terrible. Made like $2 million in cap. Offensive lineman had more touchdowns than Kenny Galladay. Dude, they paid $75 million. Kadarius Toney can't stay on the field. He's constantly hurt. Waste of a first-round pick. Saquon, he hasn't been the same. Darius Slayton just doesn't do anything. Their secondary is atrocious. They have no way of getting to the quarterback. Leonard Williams is paid to all hell. Giants are poverty. That's all I can say. Nothing.
Right.
From the Jets fan, let's go.
From the Jets fan, I think there's potential. Not with Joe Judge. Not with him. I think the Giants with Tooney, maybe something in the future. Bradbury, they just don't got a lot there. They got two guys. Saquon ain't what he used to be. Injuries really messed him up, but I think they have a couple guys to build off of and get somewhere with it. But they're firing Joe Judge is a step in the right direction.
Totally agree.
Yep.
Next coach that was fired is going to be Van Fangio from the Denver Broncos. To start this off, there's a Broncos fan in our group chat, so without leaving any, bias towards how shitty they are, they had a really bad season. Melvin Gordon didn't pan out exactly how everybody planned. Jerry Jeudy played like dog shit when he wasn't hurt. And, they're still worrying about quarterbacks. Like 9 weeks into the season, they don't have a starter. I think that there was nowhere to go as a coach, honestly. I see him more as like a 2 years ago Browns coach, 3 years ago Browns coach from past experience. I see a lot of Browns in him as just kind of like I'm gonna be here for a year or two, and after that I'm gonna move on and get fired and never have anything to do with the NFL ever again. So I mean I don't see a big future for him. I don't see a huge future for them unless they get a quarterback. Their defense is looking good. If their receivers can pick it up, if their tight end can pick it up, Noah Fant can really shine if he just gets an opportunity with a good quarterback. They're really a quarterback away from the playoffs, but the coach was definitely not the bright shining star that they needed this year.
I have a different approach about Vic Fangio. I actually liked him. He's a defensive minded head coach, and he built a pretty dang good defense. Definitely has to upgrade in some parts, but that secondary was really good. And the offense is what let him down. Jerry Jeudy was hurt most of the year. I mean, and then you have a quarterback that really can't get the ball to him. whether it's Teddy Bridgewater, whether it's Drew Lock, they both are terrible. They almost spoiled the Chiefs in the last game, but I don't know. I don't know if I agree with him being fired. I just think it's a miss. I think the GM missed on some talent where they could have got better. Like, even though Patrick Surtain was good, would Justin Fields have been the better pick? Or there's other instances where he's taken someone over a more valuable position. And I think Fangio became the fall guy. And I don't think he was necessarily bad. It's just the team kind of let down after they were projected to go to the playoffs. And he got canned for it. So
personally, Vic Fangio, he wasn't really that bad of a coach in my opinion. He was just in a terrible situation. Like, John Elway kept drafting tall, white, shitty quarterbacks. Their wide receivers can't stay healthy. The only thing really good about them is their secondary. They have one of the best secondaries in the league. But even without Pat Surtain, say they drafted a quarterback last year, they'd still have a nice secondary. So I feel like that was a wrong pick there. And I feel like he'll hire someone else who's probably a defensive coordinator. Definitely not as a head, but he'll get another job.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Jacob and Cole here. They wasn't terrible. Built a great defense. Much as I hate to admit it, not a bad defense. Secondary solid. Got some good linebackers in there. Not bad. Offensively, quarterback away from the playoffs. I think you need a really offensive-minded guy. Get there. Much as I love Teddy, being a Saints fan, like he was for us, he's not a permanent fix. He's a season fix. Sit the young guy behind Teddy, mentor him. I think they're a good team. It's a questionable fire, but a lot to build off of.
On to the next, Coach. We have probably the biggest surprise so far. Coming off Sunday and Monday's game is Brian Flores being fired. Last year he was in contention for Coach of the Year with Kevin Stefanski of the Browns. And I don't have a single thought as to why the Miami Dolphins fired him. Yes, this was an off year for them. They went 9-8. It wasn't a bad season, honestly. They had 7 in a row. He picked it up coming to the end. I think the Dolphins are a quarterback, maybe a receiver, and just a couple pieces away from being a great team. And last year they had that hope with him as a first-year coach, and I don't know what they were thinking with this fire. I'm sure Cole has a whole ton of kind words. It was just a pure shock when I saw that notification come up on my phone. I was like, what the hell? But yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna pass this one to Cole personally. I really hope he doesn't get us in some trouble for the words he's about to say for the Dolphins organization.
I might, dude.
All right. So, Dolphins fan. Thing is, last year was his second year. This was his third year. He turned the corner. He's gotten 2 winning records. He's a good coach, and everything I've read, there's players that are happy that he's gone, and there are players that are not happy that he's gone. There was a story that I read before here from the Miami Herald that he was kind of controlling. He wanted everything, and Chris Greer, being the guy he is, he gave Flores everything. So I don't know what is true and what's not true. He's a good coach. He's a good defensive coach, but there is a reason they were in that 1-7 hole, and it wasn't because of quarterback. There was decisions he made that cost us games. It didn't matter who was in at quarterback. We had games where he cost us, and that's the thing. But he's a good coach, and you're throwing out a good coach, and you don't know if you can get someone better. Personally, I like a guy like Brian DeBall, off the coordinator of the Bills, or the guy from 49ers. But I don't know who they're going to hire. I don't know if any of the guys are better that they're going to hire, but really, I was asleep when I got the notification. I woke up and my mom texted me, and I was just like, wow, that's insane. I really don't even really have any words. I mean, I just a good coach. I just don't know. He's going to get a job somewhere. He's going to be a hot commodity. He's going to be one of the first guys to get a job. And he's already got the first interview with the Bears, which would be interesting. And also, if people think it was a Brian Flores versus Tua thing, it wasn't. Despite one altercation they had at the Tennessee game, they enjoyed working together. Even Tua sent him a Christmas card. It wasn't nothing of that. It was more of a Brian Flores versus Stephen Ross and Chris Greer thing. So, I don't know.
Business casual.
Yeah,
Casual.
I was shocked to hear it, but now that I hear some stories, and if they're true or not, it really doesn't matter. It's just what happened, and they'll hire a coach, and it'll probably be from the Patriots, and then they'll be fired in 2 to 3 years. So, I mean, the Dolphins are kind of doing something smart. They're getting all the coordinators from the East teams, AFC East teams, and firing them after 2 to 3 years, and they'll go somewhere else. So.
Look, from a Jets fan, that was a terrible, terrible fire. Like the Dolphins just downgraded themselves no matter who they hired so much, man. You don't fire a coach who just won 7 in a row. I don't care how easy the schedule was. Year before, a 10-6 record, just barely missed the playoffs. You just don't do that. He's not. He's actually a damn good coach. He's gonna get hired. Probably one of the first coaches to be hired.
Mm-hmm.
The people the Dolphins are interviewing still just don't compare to Brian Flores, in my opinion. He built a damn good team.
I'll say one more thing after you're done.
Go.
All right. Well, the thing about it is Brian Flores is a defensive-minded coach, and you can tell with his defense, the blitz packages he set up for Javon Holland and Brandon Jones were unmatched. But there is a reason they lost. There's a reason they lost 7 in a row. And it wasn't because quarterback. It wasn't because of Tua. Tua had only played like 3. He played one of those games. He won, and he got hurt the next. And then he played the last 2 of the 7. So there's a reason they lost 7. And if you want to blame it on Tua and Brissett, you can. But he made decisions that were questionable, and that's why he lost to the Falcons and Jaguars. But it's a defensive-minded coach, and if you don't get an offensive-minded coach in this next cycle, then it's just going to be the same old thing.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. It was a dumb fire. He defensive minded coach for sure. I mean, he had regardless of the Saints O-line being injured, they had 8, 9 sacks, somewhere up there. Regardless, blitz packages like that. He's a great defensive minded coach. He come blitzes from everywhere, from the corners, even just having solid edge rushers, anything there. And coaching isn't the issue. I mean, you're winning 7 games. You lose 7 games in a row. Questionable. Something changed. They won 7 in a row. Changed it around. Finished season 9-8. Missed the playoffs. Sucks, but happens. Don't think Tua is the problem. I think coaching wasn't the problem. I think it's maybe a run game. Lack of receivers. Not a lot of help there for him. Dumb fire. I think anything's a downgrade from here. Going to be a rough couple of years for Miami.
We'll see. I mean,
Yeah,
I wasn't
We'll see.
I wasn't very happy about it, but I mean, there are stories that you can believe or not believe. I'm impartial to them. I'll take what they say and then make my decisions on what comes out later. But Brian Flores, from what I saw,
I'm not happy about it. I don't even like Miami.
He was a good coach. He's a good defensive coach. Now,
Definitely.
if they don't get an offensive coach in this next cycle, then I'll be mad. But Flores was a good defensive coach, and he'll get another job.
Valid.
I think it was more. I don't think it was more. It was more of Chris Greer and Stephen Ross's little terrible self against Brian Flores. So I don't know if that's really also good to work in a spot like that. So maybe it was just best that the 2-part way or the 3-part ways. So
maybe.
Moving on to the next coach. I mean, can't really go worse from here. And it definitely doesn't. Matt Nagy from the Chicago Bears.
When did this happen?
Oh, he was fired
earlier.
I think this happened.
No, he was happening first day.
First on.
Yeah, I think he was the first one gone.
That's right. That's right.
It was either him or Zimmer.
It was.
I think it was Zimmer. I think Zimmer was the
I
first one
forgot
gone.
about Zimmer.
Oh, I have some words about him.
All right, let's get Nagy.
Not surprised with this fire specifically. Coming from a Browns fan, seeing a coach start off hot, 12-4, been there, done that. Made it to the playoffs in 2018, and then he just went downhill.
Double doink.
Double doink. Best kicker in the NFL for sure.
Yes,
But
sir.
the Chicago Bears this year were totally poverty.
Oh, it was embarrassing.
Whether it wasn't Justin Fields living up to the full potential, that horrendous offensive line just getting eaten every single week, or the wide receivers playing to below average ability. It was just a horrible year for them.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw a single upside from the Bears this year. I didn't see a glimpse of potential from them. The play calling was awful. Watching that game on Thanksgiving, I was just like, what am I watching? This is horrible. This is the worst game I've seen in like multiple years. Absolute poverty. I hope he does not get hired anywhere else. I just don't like him as a coach, just not a great coach. But, to move forward, I guess we'll send it off to Cole.
Yeah, I mean it's very not often you see a coach of the year be fired after 2 years after winning the award. I mean, spectacular debut. I mean, I don't know what happened from then. I mean,
doink.
People are gonna blame the double doink. People are gonna blame the fact that he drafted Trubisky over Mahomes and Watson, and it wasn't a good pick. Trust me, I was laughing when he did it. But Trubisky did show something out there. They did something to that kid that ruined him. And I hope it doesn't happen with Justin Fields. And hopefully they get a guy that can help Justin Fields develop. But yeah, last year was bad. You ask any Bears fans. And also getting Ryan Pace out of there could help. He was not very good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a happy day for Bears fans. I just want to know what happened in between Coach of the Year to this. It was weird and it was bad. I just don't understand it.
Matt Nagy is a terrible coach. I don't care about the 12-4 season. He sucked. Couldn't run an offense. Couldn't run a defense. I mean, running a 3-quarterback system with Foles, Dalton, and Fields. What are you doing?
Yeah.
That's just unacceptable. I don't care who's out. Like, no, Allen Robinson just fell off the face of the goddamn earth. That was embarrassing. The only upside I saw from the Bears this season was like Khalil Herbert having a couple breakouts and carrying me in fantasy for a couple weeks. Otherwise, utter and complete dog shit.
Might I know not the week he played me.
That's all I got to say.
Might I know. I got some words about Nagy. I don't think he's a good coach. That's obvious. That 12-4 season carried by their defense. I mean, you had star powers. You had Kyle Fuller, Eddie Jackson. You had Akeem Hicks. That was the first year Mac was in. When he was still kind of relevant. He's still there now, but he's solid still. Carried by that defense. Hot take. Don't think Trubisky was the problem. Think he was the most NFL ready quarterback out of that draft. Not the best now. Deshaun Watson and Mahomes are easily better. But I think that was a Nagy thing. That clearly is an offense. I think Trubisky can maybe be a rough starter eventually, somewhere for a down awful team.
The Browns.
Maybe it's another shot.
Cleveland Browns.
I'm thinking. I don't know. Texans got Davis Mills. He's not bad.
Browns.
Cleveland Browns.
Maybe the Browns. Give him a shot. Baker
you know,
is hot garbage.
oh yeah,
Hate
he'll
to
turn
say
around.
it,
Baker's awful.
I actually liked Marcus
Yeah.
Mariota for the Browns. Not gonna off topic, but Marcus Mariota be fire.
When Jackson trolled me saying Mariota was coming to the Saints 3 days after the trade deadline, I was stoked and then realized I'm an idiot. But I don't think Trubisky was an issue. I think Allen Robinson not good there. I mean, he didn't play, wasn't, and Nagy was the issue. That's all I got to say about the Bears. Kind of poverty, kind of disappointed to see because they had such a bright future 2 or 3 years ago, and that not good.
Anybody, yeah. They're just straight poverty.
Yeah, it's like there's not much to say.
I really didn't see like the hate train that was coming for Zimmer. I thought he was okay. Obviously not a great coach, 72, 56 and 1 as his full record as coach. I mean, to start with 13 and 3 in 2017, NFC Championship, then take a fall back, 7 and 9, 8 and 9.
Minneapolis.
Oh yeah,
that hurts. That hurts right here.
It's
a rough.
I think
rough
that
life.
I think the Vikings are really a coach away, maybe a bit of a defense away from being a very, very good team. But Mike Zimmer being fired, I don't know if that's the first step into making this the right decision. I think they could have done a multitude of different things, whether take him into next season, have a good off season, have a good draft, pick up some people off the free agency list. I mean, there was a lot they could have did, but firing Mike Zimmer off rip, I don't know if that was their best decision to be made. But it's in the past. I personally liked Zimmer. Yeah, he had a slump, but I think they're still on the come up. I think that the Vikings still have a huge upset with their next coach, honestly.
Yeah, I was not a big fan of Zimmer. And I mean, it really boiled down to two stories for me. I mean, obviously the on field, he's kind of been disappointing ever since the 13-3 season. I mean, it's kind of just like disappointment after disappointment. After a while, fans are going to get tired of that. That's why the Vikings fans want him gone. But the two stories I want to highlight happened in back-to-back weeks, which is weird to me. So the Vikings were playing without Kirk Cousins, and they started this dude. I don't remember his name. He was terrible. And then they asked him afterwards, oh, you're going to get a look at Kellen Mond? He's like, no. He's like, it's like, why? And he's like, because we see him in practice.
Yeah, what's going on?
I'm like, he's like, I don't need to see him again. I'm like, bro, you don't do that. I don't care. You can just say we'll think about or we'll see something. You don't say no because we see him in practice. Like that is wrong, and it really shows me he probably doesn't want Kellen Mond. And then the second story that I saw today, I sent it to you. They asked him about afterwards after the game. They're like, did you know how close Justin Jefferson was to the single season Vikings franchise record that was held by Randy Moss? He was 17 away from breaking. He was like, yeah, I did. It's like, I don't care about records. I care about winning. Like, bro, you're not going to the playoffs. Like, let him get the record. All you got to do is throw it to him, but you ran the clock out. I don't know. I don't like that. If they were going to the playoffs, maybe. But at that time, you're throwing it to Jefferson. Like, let him get 17 yards. Like, he can get it in one play. He's Justin Jefferson. So, I mean, I don't like him for that reason. I mean, they just disappoint every year. Every year they're like, oh, they're gonna make a run. No, they weren't very good. I didn't like Zimmer. I thought it was a good fire.
Nope.
And it's just, I don't know.
Ooh.
Personally, to me, it's not even that he wasn't a bad coach. It's just that his time ran out. He was there for 8 seasons, and he took them to the playoffs 3 times. Didn't go anywhere in the playoffs. He had his time. He had time to build a team. Didn't amount to anything. He might get a job somewhere else. Highly doubt it, though. Honestly, maybe as a coordinator, I could see that. But His time just ran out. He was there for too long, didn't do anything. That's all I gotta say.
Offensive coordinator or coordinator in general. I mean, look at that offense. You got Jefferson, Cousins, Cook with a very mediocre O-line. I mean, they've had good games. They've had awful games. I think coordinators somewhere in his future, maybe. Don't like Zimmer nor anybody else on the Vikings besides Jefferson. So okay with the fire, but I think it was the right idea? No. I don't think, as Ben said, I don't think it was the correct first move. Maybe eventually give it a year, one more season. I mean, go bulk up that O-line. Get another guy to get alongside Danielle Hunter. I mean, not the greatest of first moves, but do I think they can do better than Zimmer and have more potential with another coach? I definitely think that happens.
First, you gotta be a player guy. I mean, those two stories I just told you, that's not player
What's going
friendly.
on? Like that
That's
hurts
not
me. I love
player
Jeff
friendly.
Jefferson, dude.
Yeah, that's not player friendly. I mean,
Yeah.
if they talked about it, but it seemed like Justin Jefferson was mad. Like you watch the clips, he was mad about it. Like watching this run out the clock. Like he was 17 yards. And then what you say about Kellen Mond, that I don't know, that just struck me in a bad way. And I just don't think it was. I don't think he deserved to be there. I mean, you got to treat people like you want to be treated, and I'm guarantee you, he would not have wanted his head coach to say something like that about him, and he would not have wanted his coach to pull him whenever he was close to doing something that means something to him. So that's all I got.
That's true. That's true. Not a big people player, but moving on. Not even the last coach.
Yeah.
That was him.
Yeah, John Gruden got fired earlier.
So-
For some
in the year,
reason, I
but
thought
he was
Tomlin
terrible.
got fired. Like, not him,
Huh?
but like Steelers in general. Oh, did it? So a Steelers coach?
Urban
Steelers
Meyer.
coach did get fired.
Urban Meyer, go. Let's go.
Ooh, the biggest meme ever.
Urban Meyer was the greatest coach. of
John
all time.
Gruden.
John Gruden was
Gruden.
so good. It was so good.
Jonathan Gruden.
You saw how many
Respectable
picks
actions
that
by
him and
him.
Mike
I'm
Mayock
proud of
hit
that.
on? That shit was so
Respectable.
Too
Ooh.
early. All right, to move on to like the other current news, which was pretty big, which happened last night. Again, Cole's gonna have some serious words for this. He doesn't look too happy right now, but college football championship happened last night.
Ooh.
Big score right here, 33-18. Unexpected by the Bulldogs against the defending Crimson Tide, but we're just gonna go with like a score by score. Personally, I didn't watch like the third to fourth quarter. For the first half, I was like, wow, this is really boring, and it's only field goals. So I turned it off. Apparently, I missed a huge game.
Boom.
But
Blew up.
just to go in the first half, it was just, first quarter field goal, second quarter field goal, second quarter field goal. It was all field goals. And it just wasn't exciting. I wasn't too like excited about most of the first half. There wasn't a whole lot of like, true like game being played there. Yeah, the defenses were playing pretty good, but more honestly, I mean, I saw Bryce Young play better games than how he played last night. They were like basically in poverty out there, hurting. The quarterback couldn't get the ball to his receivers. The receivers couldn't catch the ball. Bryce Young was throwing it to the other team. Like it was just a bad game, honestly, from Alabama, which you don't see too often from a 13-2 team. I mean, I wish I would have watched the second half, but yeah, I mean, as you can see here, Georgia just took over at the end of the game. Like within 8 minutes, they score 3 touchdowns, and that basically sealed it. Once after this 19-18, it was basically over. Touchdown after touchdown, and that's it. But I'm gonna pass along to Cole because I'm sure he could have a
I'm excited
better
to hear.
insight onto the Alabama Crimson Tide's performance last night.
Now,
There we go.
what?
Let's go.
Now, would I put this on Alabama playing bad? Not necessarily. Watching the whole game. I mean, I was into it the whole time. I barely talked in our little group chat because I was focused on this game because what I thought was going to happen happened. Georgia wanted it more than Alabama. And it wasn't even Georgia's player. I mean, you could see at the end, Georgia's players wanted it more than Alabama, but you can see like in the play calling, Georgia's offense wasn't great, but they made plays when they needed to. Stetson Bennett made plays when he needed to. He threw that pass to Brock Bowers that gave him the lead, gave him an 8-point lead. Brock Bowers is a fantastic player. That dime to Mitchell, where he mossed Kyrie Jackson, a young corner. But the downfall of this team is that it was a young Alabama team versus an older Georgia team. And Kirby Smart was, along with Nick Saban, enough to know what he needs to do in this situation. Bryce Young, did he play his best game? But he did not. But did he play a pretty good game? Yes. Despite the 2 interceptions, the pick 6, the one interception I explained that it was more on Jaleel Billingsley, who entered the transfer portal. And yesterday I told my dad, I was like, he needs to either go to the draft or into the transfer portal. I really don't want him on this team anymore because he's just been the definition of disappointing. He was supposed to break out this year and he didn't. So Bryce, cool. Here we started. All right, we're good. Let me get this in. All right, we're good. Bryce Young. I was watching Joel Klatt. Cool. Huh? Yeah, it's recording. It's fine.
All right, we're good.
Go back to the score though, because this is trippy. Like looking at both of us.
No, you were frozen for me.
Go back to the score. This is trippy right now.
Are you
I
recording?
stopped the screen share.
Yes, it's still.
Oh,
Hey,
Wait,
Mr.
my
Ford.
AirPods just disconnect?
Mr. Baguette.
I think they did.
We are struggling now. Out the mud.
Out the
Balls.
mud.
It happens.
Balls.
Balls.
oh. Yo, I gotta leave at 9:30. So like
What time is it for you?
9:25.
It's what?
9:25.
Ooh, all right.
All right, let me finish my.
I got-
You want to give it off to Jacob?
Oh, my bad.
All right. No, go for it. Let's hear it.
Wait, me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
go
All
ahead.
Let's hear
right,
it.
so
Let's hear it.
Where's yours?
Bryce Young, it was not the problem. The defense played phenomenally. I mean, despite the couple plays they gave up at the end, I mean, you got 2 young corners, Josh Jobin and Jalen Armour-Davis being out. Those were the top 2 corners. Then so you put a Kool-Aid McKinstry, who's a freshman, and Kyrie Jackson, who's a red shirt, or not a red shirt. He's a JUCO transfer. So you put young guys out there, and it's bound to happen. I mean,
Impressive.
but quarterback-wise, Bryce Young was not the problem. Nick Saban, he said that Bryce Young said he wished he could have done more. He felt like he left the team down. But he threw a perfect ball to Ajay Hall, dropped. He threw many good passes that were dropped. And then he threw one bad pass or an interception that looked like he just airmailed it to the defense. Jaleel Billingsley stopped running. He's trying to anticipate a pass, and Jaleel Billingsley just stops running. He like jogs, it looks like. And it was terrible. At that point, I wanted Jaleel Billingsley off the field because, I mean, the interception didn't amount to much. It didn't amount to anything at all. But still, it's like that he was crying on Twitter the whole time about and he was in Saban's doghouse. But that's what he does. He was so disappointing this year. 274 yards, 3 touchdowns. So disappointing. And then, I mean, Ja'Cory Brooks, I mean, he stepped up so big in situations. And before that pick 6, he had a ball that was perfectly thrown to him, and he puts out one hand, doesn't put out both hands. It's just frustrating. But I'm not even frustrated at the players. Who I am frustrated at is Bill O'Brien. Because what was that? That was the worst offensive play calling I've seen under a Saban coach in forever. And maybe I'm just spoiled because Steve Sarkisian was great. But last year, It was so much better in the national championship how Steve Sarkisian's called the game, and people agree with me. Joe Klatt agrees. It makes me upset that I'm okay with Georgia winning the game. I'm fine. Kirby Smart gets a national championship. I'm fine. But to see what Bill O'Brien did was terrible. I hope he gets a job in the NFL because please get him out of Alabama. Please. He was terrible. And Bryce Young, a 20-year-old kid, was having to carry the offensive coordinator. He was – they even said in Joe Coward said, if that was any other quarterback that didn't have that processing that Bryce Young has, they would have thrown 6 interceptions. That's how bad the play calling was by Bill O'Brien. It was terrible. Obviously, people are going to put it on Bryce Young, but in my eyes, that was not the problem. It was the play calling. The play calling in the red zone was straight up awful. I can't say much more about Bill O'Brien being terrible. I really hope he's gone. But yeah, the team was young. It was bound to happen against an older Georgia team. So that's all I got to say.
All right, Jacob, let's
Sounds
hear
good.
it.
Let's hear it.
First off, prayers up to Jamison Williams. That was ugly.
Jama.
Yeah, I
That was
forgot.
really-
Jama.
Prayers up to
How
him.
could you forget?
Who the hell let Bill O'Brien get another goddamn job? Seriously. He looks stupid. He calls plays stupid. His face just pisses me off. Bryce Young shouldn't have been the Heisman. Kenneth Walker all the way. Mickey Mouse Heisman, in my opinion.
Ooh.
I watched most of the game. Alabama cost me $50 damn, so I hate it a little bit. But I enjoyed the low scoring first half. I don't know about you. I enjoyed it. I like games close, like builds up anticipation, in my opinion.
Okay.
Second half was just insane. It was score after score, and then the pick six to end it. It was like something out of a movie. Good for Georgia. Proud of how they played. Same with Alabama, but I'm never getting that $50 back. So, on that note, I'm out of here, y'all. Y'all got the rest
I'll
of
see you,
this. Peace
Jacob.
out.
All right,
brother.
Jacob. All right. I ain't got much to say. You know what I'm going to start with. The thing that hurt me the worst.
There's a chance that Jamison and Mechie could return. I mean, Jamison went to Alabama to win a national championship and came that close.
I'm hurt. Like I wasn't at home when I got the ESPN notification or I read the group chat. Whatever came first. Heartbroken. That's all I had to say. I'm big Jammo guy. As the national championship as a whole, happy of the outcome. Go Dogs, I guess. I don't think it was Bryce Young's fault. I mean, all these guys really hit the nail on the head on what I had to say. So, just prayers up for Jammo. Hopefully,
Jamison update. He the doctors expect to make a full recovery. He'll go into surgery around 10 days, and he should retain that 4.3 speed. So if he goes to the draft, his draft stock may be impacted a little bit, but it shouldn't be too much. But there's a chance he returns. We'll see.
This is what we need to happen. Go get Garrett Wilson or Olave with the 18th overall pick, right? Jamison falls, right? Second round. If we get Jamison in the second round, if he falls, don't think he will. But if he gets that,
I'm forgetting you guys need a quarterback. Who knows if Winston comes off the injury correctly? Who knows?
I want Winston back. I want him
I
back.
do too. He messed up my fantasy. But to move on quickly, I don't have a whole lot of time left, but
Let's go.
I'm going to get into the NFL rankings. I'm just going to kind of speed through these, and if there's any notable teams in here or anywhere that like any teams that I don't think should be where they're at specifically, I'll point them out. First off is the Steelers. They should not have made it or even letting them get in. I hate the Steelers with a passion. Chase Claypool can I'm just gonna leave it there.
Keep it PG.
Deontay is a waste. He sucks. Everybody hypes him up, yet he still has no hands. I think he had like the 4th most drops in the league this year again, but I'll let it slide. Next we have the Eagles. Again, another team doesn't deserve it. I'm just gonna leave it out here and say they're gonna be first round exits. They kind of suck. Jalen Hurts is good. I think that they're who they play first round.
Bucks.
The Eagles. Yeah, they're getting bounced.
Yeah, first round exits for sure.
I don't know. I'm just not huge on Jalen Hurts this year. Their wide receivers aren't horrible. Their defense is awful. Not awful, but their defense isn't great. They just have such a mediocre team. They're not a playoff team. I think a lot of teams could have filled that spot and given more.
Just hope they win.
At number 12, we have the Raiders. Honestly, I'm pretty high on the Raiders this year. The way that they played against the Chargers, I saw so much potential out of that team. Hunter Renfro's the GOAT. Derek Carr's playing,
good football.
Playing good football. He's playing like he has been for the past 12 years or however old this guy is. I don't even know. I feel like he's been the Raiders quarterback forever.
Keep going?
I think that the Raiders are a team to beat. They literally have an interim head coach. They're missing their number 1 wide receiver, and
True. True.
I was gonna say something. Carl Nassib on the
That's
D line is gonna eat.
Oh God, bro.
But
is Waller back though? That's the question.
Yeah,
I saw
that is
that
a
he's
good question.
cleared IR, and he was on COVID last week, right?
Yeah, he was.
I think he'll be back.
So he is back.
He should be. It's playoff time, but he's got to
I think he
play
was just on
through it.
COVID last week.
I got big hopes for the Raiders, honestly. I think that they can go second, third round. Maybe, definitely not Super Bowl. Definitely not a huge contender.
Third round.
They can put up a good fight, I think.
All right. 11.
Number 11 spot, we have the Pats. Kind of had a slow end of the season, They were favored earlier in the season. They were favored like week 10 to week 9. And they had a great record, and then they mediocre football at best at the end of the season. Beginning of the season, he was playing lights out, and I honestly just don't see a whole lot of upside from this team. Their defense is pretty good. They have a good O-line. They have mediocre running backs, mediocre receivers. I think that, maybe not first round exits, but I think that they'll be all right. I don't see a whole lot of negative coming from this team. I just don't see a lot of positive either. Moving on to number 10, the Niners. I don't know how they are ranked 10. That is a little ridiculous in my opinion. These are my Super Bowl favorites. Yeah. Debo's playing insane this year. Dude, these are my Super Bowl favorites, dude. The Niners are insane. It's just beautiful. On the field, I mean, football-wise.
He is beautiful off the field, just saying.
Just gonna leave that there. But Debo's playing unreal football right now. Unfortunately, they're having running back problems yet again. Raheem Mostert is still out, I think. I think he's done for the season.
He's injured week 1 like every year.
Yeah, yet again. Fantasy just let me down. George Kittle's playing very good football right now, coming off the injury last year. I see a lot of upside to this team. Their defense is very good this year. I don't see a lot of teams holding them back, honestly. I think the only people to hold them back is themselves. If Jimmy G can't get the ball to Debo or George Kittle, or they can't run the ball correctly, I don't see a whole lot of failure from this team. Overall,
who do they end up playing?
I think they're playing.
They're playing Cowboys. They got the Nick game. The Cowboys and Niners got the Nickelodeon game. We gotta vote Jimmy G MVP.
Oof.
Crazy, that's a winnable game.
Dude, I hope Debo wins MVP.
I want it to be Jimmy G. That would be so funny.
That would be hilarious.
Trent Williams can block Parsons. I think it happens. I could
think
see
it
that
happens
happen.
too.
I
Dude,
agree.
Trent Williams is a great lineman. I think he's like top 5
How
this year,
old is he?
honestly.
He's the
He's
best
I don't
lineman in the
know.
league. His
You think
PFF
so?
He
grade's
might
like
be,
yes, his
seriously.
PFF grade's like 99.7.
Is it?
99.6.
Oh, I thought it was
Yeah.
like 93.
It's insane. No, it's like 99.
Yeah,
He's
that
been
is
so good
ridiculous.
this year.
Yeah, dude. Niners at 10 is a
Good
little
call
shocking,
signing him
honestly.
back.
I think that they finished the season a little slow, but I have big hopes for them this year.
Hey, I like
Moving
it.
on to the number 9 team, bringing it inside the top
It should be
10.
the Cardinals.
The other Super Bowl favorites at the beginning of the year, the underrated, the undefeated team. I mean, they got short boy at
Gotta
QB.
say.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's honestly a toss-up. They win good games, but they lose horrible games, and it's just whether or not Kyler Murray wants to come out and win.
Is
D-Hop
D-Hop
still hurt?
Yeah, that's what they say he was done for
Yeah,
the
that's the
season, but
question.
I don't
Is
know if that
Hobb
meant the
back?
regular season or is that the postseason.
It was
too.
regular season. Their hopes was to have him back
They'll
for
be
the
back for
playoffs,
this
but
game. Okay.
I have not heard anything about Hop.
All right. Maybe I don't know. We'll see.
Coming
Interesting.
from Arizona, being born there, I love him. Overrated, I think. Don't think they have a good week. Scrape by very, very close. They win, but they lose in the second round.
Yeah, I can agree to that. It honestly depends on how Kyler wants to play. It's really up to him.
Facts.
That defense isn't horrible, but they're not playing at top tier material like the Rams defense or even the Buccaneers defense hasn't been awful this year.
We don't speak about that.
I don't know with this team. They're very flip a coin type team. It's whether they're going to come out and drop 30 on a team's head or come out and kick 4 field goals and lose by 20. It's just it's really a toss up. But breaking into another top 10.
Super Bowl team.
Such a young team. It is, being in the same like division as them as a Browns fan. It's been amazing to see another team in there other than the Steelers and the Ravens. I would love to see the Bengals win it all. It's not going to happen. Joe Shiesty's been a beast this year. Jamar Chase is unbelievable. Offensive Rookie of the Year for show.
For show.
For show. Joe Mixon's playing out of his mind. That defense is pretty good too. I don't see a big downside to this team. I think that they have a huge shot at a deep playoff run. Maybe not Super Bowl, but I think they can take out some of the big teams and make it competitive, honestly. This playoffs is going to be a very fun playoffs to watch, honestly. Great teams in this year.
Especially on that AFC side.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Cole, you got anything to add?
Nah, I mean, the Bengals have been surprisingly so good. I mean, who knew? I knew Jamar Chase was the right pick, but who knew that Jamar Chase would have elevated this team? Obviously, with Awuzie and Hendrickson, I mean, those guys are playing really good too. So it's not just Jamar Chase, but I mean, it's just insane the leap Joe Burrow has taken from the first and second year, especially after ACL injury. This team's dangerous, and it's probably a team you don't want to see. There's only like 3 or 4 teams you don't want to see, and they're probably one of them. If you're
I agree.
team,
I think they're a team that nobody wants to play right now. Browns did just beat them. Just gonna leave that out there. Case Keenum's
Brandon Allen was the quarterback.
Just gonna leave that there. Wait, what? No. For the Browns. For the Browns.
Brandon Allen was the quarterback.
Yeah.
The Bengals.
No, for the Bengals he was.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, Browns, Case Keenum's the GOAT.
No, he's not. We don't speak of him.
I forgot about that.
There's so much pain. It's my first episode, and there's
This is
pain after pain for
so
me.
much PTSD with all these names coming at you.
You don't say the D word. We don't say the D word. We're good.
Number 7 is the Titans. They're gonna get bounced first round. They're still missing Henry. I don't know how they finished 12-5 this year. Back. Honestly, a number 1 seed in the AFC is a little wild for them. I think the Bengals are a better team. I think the Niners are a better team. Is he
Derrick
back?
Henry's back. Yes,
Super Bowl.
Derrick
Oh.
Henry's
Super Bowl.
back.
That changes
12 and
everything.
5 without
This is a deep run playoff team.
Henry is
Um,
that good.
You know, Ryan
Derrick
Tannehill
Henry.
quarterback. AJ
They're gonna
Brown's been
bench
playing
Tannehill
good.
and just run
They
Wildcat.
should. They really
Just
should.
run
But
Wildcat.
you know how the new Derrick Henry card came out at QB. Throw him in.
That'd be fire.
And now that they have Henry back, I mean, I don't know what to say. He's been out almost all year. This team could either be a huge team or a huge flop because that man makes a team from a 0 to a 10, and that's just how it is.
Facts.
I got nothing else to say about this team. I haven't seen a whole lot other than Derrick Henry, and AJ Brown's been playing great. There's just not a whole lot to say other than that.
I mean, Derrick
Right.
Henry coming back is what's gonna it's gonna make this team go far if it's going to go far. It wasn't going to go far with just AJ Brown and a mid Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
So Derrick
Yeah.
Henry being back is important. It's just what he looks like after that injury. The fact that he broke his foot and his back is kind of insane because I remember when I broke my foot, the doctor screwed me over and I was out for like 10 weeks. So
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was terrible.
I think it's just
Good.
like the Cardinals. They got one player that is just an absolute game changer. He comes back and plays football like he does. Honestly, like Super Bowl. Honestly, I
It's a
think
scary
they go
team to
do
play.
it with Henry. Very scary.
That Mike Vrabel, like coach, he
Love
is
that guy.
an absolute beast, and bringing back Henry could be a huge change. He's one of the smartest coaches I think in the NFL. Outsmarted Belichick.
All
But
right, let's
moving on
see.
to the sixth team, Cowboys yet again
Cowboys.
going to be poverty. First round bounce them. Go Niners for sure. But CD's
Hate the
playing
Niners.
unreal. They just have such a good squad, but they just never produce in the playoffs. I mean,
Mhm.
I 2 lifetimes of me hasn't seen them in a Super Bowl, so all the Super Bowls they won are Mickey Mouse Bowls.
Whew.
It's honestly up to Dak. Dakota Prescott. I mean, Zeke's been playing very good this season. Tony Pollard's an absolute stud. I think he should go to another team, and maybe even like Miami would be a great spot
Yes,
for
sir.
him.
Mixon Gaskin is either going for 300 yards or 30. I think
Duke Johnson's the coach.
Oh, Duke
Yeah.
Johnson.
Came
I
in
forgot
and had
about him.
like
He was on.
Bro came in had like 200-yard rushing games. He might have had like 3.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Wait,
Yeah.
time out. To go back to the Cardinals, though, James Conner's playing out of his fucking mind. And
Oh,
that is
my
just
Yeah, James
God.
Conner's
wild
been a
to me.
baller.
Where did he come from?
That man is
Like,
that man just
he would-
stood up
I
out of
mean-
his wheelchair and decided to ball.
It was
Yeah.
because the Pittsburgh offensive line was so bad.
I mean,
Yeah, dude.
it's worse
Playing
now, and
crazy.
Najee's
Yeah.
putting up numbers. I mean, Najee.
Yeah, but he's
personally.
putting numbers off a bunch of carries and a bunch of targets.
I guess so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
it's
James
kinda
Conner never had
inflated.
the
That's
ball.
one thing I noticed last year for fantasy. Connor got like 4 carries a game. Like, it was bad.
Cowboys, I hope they get first round bounce. Fuck the Cowboys. Moving on. Buffalo Bills, huge disappointment this year. Stephon Diggs has been playing underwhelming football. Their running game is not great. Devin Singletary is not playing great. Zach Moss has been an absolute. Josh Allen, top 3 quarterback last year. He's stepped down to maybe number 6. Honestly, I mean, I can see them doing great. He's just not the best postseason quarterback to have, in my opinion. Out of this playoff spread right now, I don't think the Bills are a scary team to play. I think the Bills team is one of the teams that the Bengals would want to play, or a team that the Niners would want to play. It's a team that sounds good right now
Bills
because of
Niners
last
Super
year.
Bowl, that'd be insane.
Dude, that's wild. But
Ooh.
I just don't think they're living up to the hype that they did last year. They played insane last year and they've fallen off.
See our Super Bowl predictions here in a minute.
Yeah, for real. Anybody else
excited.
got thoughts on the Bills? I mean, there's not
No,
a whole
I
lot to say
mean,
about that.
I mean the Bills
yeah, I don't
offense,
know
the Bills
either.
offensive line has not been very good. The running game's not been very good. Josh Allen's the only reason that they're not dead last in running game. Receivers, I mean, they've got some solid receivers, and then they got Stephon Diggs. I mean, Stephon Diggs, I feel like will pick up during playoff time. But you got a guy like Gabriel Davis who's playing pretty well, Cole Beasley, Emmanuel Sanders. I mean, you got pieces there that could help for a run. It comes down to the defense. Trey White being injured is hurt. Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer have been playing really good football. The linebackers
defense is carried.
The linebackers have been, and the defensive line, the front seven is just kind of gushy. It's kind of soft. So.
Gushy.
It's just a bunch of names that nobody
gushy.
knows.
It's been gushy, bro.
How's that Oliver been? Has he been solid?
No. He's been. I don't think he is.
Haven't kept tabs on the
I haven't really either. I don't hear his name, so I'm assuming he hasn't been very good.
Number 14 with the Rams. Honestly, thought the Rams would be a little higher. Odell's curse is going to bring him down. Fuck Odell. Sorry, Browns fan. But Matt Stafford's playing unbelievable on a great team. I could not have expected less. Cooper Kupp's the motherfucking goat. That dude's a baller right now. That defense is unreal. You know, they got Jalen Ramsey, they got Aaron Donald, they got Von Miller. Is he still hurt or is he back? Could have sworn he was hurt for a bit.
There. No, I don't think he's there. I think he's there.
I don't think he got hurt.
Wow. Oh, I thought he did.
He might have got hurt like early on, but he's there now. I mean,
he's there, yeah.
But I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about this team. Like they're a very solid team. Everybody wants them to win the Super Bowl. I'm not huge on them right now. Matt Stafford has been playing great football yet again. He's also been airing the ball out and just missing targets. I think he can get those close targets with OBJ over the middle or even Cooper Kupp down the side. But without Robert Woods at slot, I don't know if this team is 100% ready for a playoff matchup with a good team like maybe the Bucs or another team like the Niners, dude. I think the Niners are a great team, but I don't know. I can see the Rams being a weird team this year. Either they're gonna get bounced for a second round or they're gonna go deep.
They are frauds. Gonna say it.
It's really gonna depend. They have good receivers. They have a good line. They have good defense. It's really going to depend on Matthew Stafford. He's either going to make the run or he's going to break the run at the end of the day. It's going to be how he plays and how he plays in key moments. Yep. I mean, you saw how he played in key moments versus the 49ers. Right. I mean, he threw the pick that ended the game. So, I mean, it's really going to depend on Matthew Stafford. Everything else has been consistent. Odell, Cooper Kupp, you got Sony Michel, you got Cam Akers back. So, I mean,
true.
Is he back in the playoffs?
Yes, he's back. He played last week.
I heard he was cleared, but I didn't know if he's playing.
No, he played last week. He's back.
Did he really?
Yes. So it's going to be it's really going to be on the shoulders of Matthew Stafford, and I don't think it's going to depend on anyone else.
Playing Arizona the first week. That's interesting. The Bucs at 3. Wow, that's a little low. Tampa Tom, baby, that man's insane. Tom Brady's obviously playing amazing football again. I think I can guess 2-1 already, but this team is just stacked yet again. You know, Antonio Brown making a little pity party yet again. Nothing new. They played.
Cool. All right, we're good.
It's recording.
Like we need 15 more minutes?
Yeah, 10, 15, because I'm just going to do playoff rounds. I'm just going to fire through these. So, Bucs, for sure, going deep playoffs. I see them beating the Packers later on after the bye. I don't see a whole lot of L's that this team's going to take with Tom in the playoffs. Moving on, number 2 is the Chiefs.
They've been playing great. I mean,
Patrick Mahomes has been spotty this year, whether he's playing great football or absolutely horrendous football. Okay. No, but okay. Man had an interception for 6 games straight, but I don't know if he has the Jackson Mahomes, Sean Taylor curse or what's going on with him. He's been playing. This is the worst year he's played in his entire career.
And no, honestly, it's
12-5.
not a terrible.
Exactly. It's not like bad, but like for his stature, for
His
10-year,
standard, I
500
agree.
mil, yeah, it's his worst season. I like their odds. Yet again, it's the Chiefs. You know how they play. That offensive line has had a huge upgrade. Clyde Edwards-Hilaire's having a decent season. Those wide receivers obviously playing good. Tyreek Hill was looking a little shaken up last week, but I think he'll come off and be perfectly fine.
Low case of the drops, but
Yeah.
I think he'll be all right.
The final team, everybody can guess, the Packers, you know. I don't know
I'm
how
not
this
sure,
man,
though.
Aaron Rodgers, I think he's coming up on 40s, maybe even in his 40s, playing MVP year yet
I think
again.
he's 37.
He's just an
Stud.
absolute unit. I mean, the receiving core, the quarterback, the defense, the running back, the offensive line. This team is Super Bowl bound as long as they don't fail against Brady yet again, because that is Aaron Rodgers. That's like his hobby, is failing against Brady, because he loves doing it. They get a first round bye, which is nice for them. I just like to see, dude, the Packers Bucks game, because it's gonna happen. The Bucks are gonna bounce. Who do they play? The Bucks are gonna bounce the Eagles. It's just known.
Oh, they play the
Packers,
Packers in the second round.
if they lose to the Bucks, dude.
No, they won't play the Bucks because they'll be reseeded.
Oh,
So it
now
would be in
even
the
think
it would
about
be
that,
in
you're
the
totally right.
championship game that they play.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
you're
because
totally right.
They'll be
I forgot
reseeded,
about
so
I
they'll
didn't think
play.
about that.
They'll play whoever's worse between the Niners, Cowboys, or no, they'll play the better team out of the.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I'm
see what
tripping.
you're
All right.
saying.
So
Either way,
I guess we're
they
gonna get
could
into our
play,
playoff
but I
predictions.
doubt it. Yeah, we can get into them because everybody knows
Yeah.
Packers are goated.
All
We can
right,
start
Ben, you
from
go
AFC
first.
side. Titans. So it's gonna go what? Chiefs and Steelers. Whoever wins or loses, it'll be Bills and Pats. Whoever wins or loses, worst team goes down.
First team will play the Titans. So
Okay.
if the Steelers won, they'd play Titans. Patriots won, they play Titans. If Raiders won, they
Okay.
play Titans.
Chiefs are beating the Steelers. Bills and Patriots will be a close game. I think the Bills are gonna win. Bengals are beating the Raiders 100%.
So you have.
I think I could see the Bills playing the Titans at that point.
Ooh.
No, it would be
Would
the.
that be
What are
It
the
would play the.
Bills?
It would be the Bengals versus the Titans. Chiefs versus.
Oh yeah,
Bills.
because
Right. Yeah.
Titans and Bengals, that's an interesting game. With Derrick Henry back
That's
and the Bengals defense and Joe Burrow, I really don't know how that game's gonna go. I think
I hate to say it, I think the Titans win that
I
game.
was just about to say it. I think Titans are gonna take it over the Bengals with
That's sad, but
Bills and Chiefs. Bills and Chiefs. I'm taking Chiefs over the Bills. Bills have just not been it this year. So right now, AFC Championship for me is looking like Titans and Chiefs, which I think we all know the answer to this. The Chiefs are probably going to beat the Titans. When it comes down to AFC Championship, Chiefs have not disappointed.
Right.
I don't see the Titans being extremely good.
So Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Chiefs in the Super Bowl yet again. Bucks and Eagles. Bucks are gonna win it. It's very
Right.
clear Bucks are gonna win that. Cowboys and Niners. I'm taking Niners 100%. Rams are
Yup.
beating the Cardinals. So we got Bucks and Rams versus Niners and Packers. Packers and Niners will be a fun game to watch. Packers are gonna blow them out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bucks and Rams will be a very interesting game if that happens. I'm actually excited to see that if it does happen. I'm taking the Bucks. I'd like to see Bucks and Packers again. And honestly, for the NFC Championship, Bucks and Packers, I think Packers take it, go to the Super
Yep.
Bowl, and I think Packers beat the Chiefs.
Packers can run it.
Packers
Run the
are
whole
gonna
show.
run it this year. That's what I'm saying.
All right. That's
Xander, you're up. I'll go last.
that's valid. I don't. All right. All right. Thinking Chiefs not gonna lose. No shot they lose. Bills Patriots. That's a hard one. I'm gonna take the Patriots.
Ooh, first
I love
upset.
Josh Allen. I don't have faith in him. Don't have faith in them. And Bengals. So that means it would be
Bengals and
it
Bills.
would be Titans Bengals. So it would be
Oh, yeah,
Titans
you're right.
Bengals.
No, it'd be Titans
Yep.
Patriots.
Bengals wins that, or the
It's Titans Patriots and then
Oh,
Chiefs Bengals.
they're six. They're six. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna start with the Bengals and Chiefs. Bengals already did it. I'm gonna be flat out honest. Bengals run it back to the AFC Championship. Think it happens.
Whoa,
Tough game.
that's an intense.
Tough game. Patty Mahomes, excuse me, in the playoffs is a scary man. I think Bengals AFC Championship. I don't think. I mean, as good as the Patriots defense is, you got a man named Derrick Henry on the other side of the ball, not stopping them. And then Titans
Yeah.
Bengals.
Yeah,
I think
Titans Bengals.
I don't think the front seven of the Bengals, Henry. I don't think there's many guys that stop Derrick Henry.
I agree.
All right. Bucks. Not a shocker to anybody.
Oof. Wow.
Hot take.
I was really
Sorry.
stressed out there.
Niners. I don't have faith in Cowboys. So I think they go Bucks, Niners, and then Rams are frauds. I'm taking
Wow.
the Cardinals, especially if Hop's back.
True.
Taking my Cardinals.
True.
So that's Cardinals and Packers play each other.
It'd be Cardinals and Bucks.
Packers and Niners.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bucks win, Packers win, and then you end up going Packers, Bucks, in the NFC Championship.
Yep.
Packers win it, and then, dude, I don't think the Titans win it,
Really?
but I don't think nobody stops Henry. I don't think they win it,
Henry,
and I don't know.
It's also like, how's he going to play off the injury, which I didn't take too much into account.
Yeah.
Go Derrick Henry.
And Super Bowl's in SoFi this year, correct?
Yeah. Well, this whole mask mandate thing might change it.
That's right. I mean, I'm going to take the Packers.
Wow.
That's
Look at that. 2 Packers tutties. All right, Cole, let's see it.
Let's finish it, Cole.
Chiefs Steelers. I mean, Chiefs are gonna beat the Steelers. Steelers don't really deserve to be there. Big Ben's last game. Kind of wish that the Chargers and Raiders were tied so Big Ben could have gone out a winner, but he's gonna lose this game. It's probably gonna be
Big Ben's gonna look for a retirement home out in Kansas City.
Bills Patriots.
Nice.
We've seen what this game's gonna be. We saw in the regular season. It's in Bills Stadium, and who looked better in the weather? I mean, even though Mac Jones threw the ball 3 times, the Patriots had a better game plan. They can run the ball better. It's gonna be cold. I'm taking the Patriots. Bengals Raiders. Raiders look good, but I don't see who's gonna stop Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase. I just don't see. I mean, who's gonna stop all of that on offense? And their defense, Raiders defense is not that good. And can their offense get in a scoring match with the Bengals? I don't know. And I think the Bengals have a better defense. I'm going to Bengals there. Titans and Patriots. The Patriots can run the ball. Quarterback matchup. I mean, Mac Jones and Ryan Tannehill are very similar, but we've seen the Patriots not be able to stop Derrick Henry, and I don't think they stop him again. I'm gonna go Titans. Bengals and Chiefs. We've seen this match before. The Chiefs corners are just not very good. Chiefs defense is just not very good, and I think the Bengals defense is
Joe
better.
Burrow in the playoffs in his second year. Who knows?
Yeah, but I think the Bengals defense is better. I'm gonna go out on a limb and take the Bengals over the Chiefs. Titans, Bengals.
Yep.
There's a part of me that wants to take the Bengals, but I don't see who's stopping Derrick Henry. I don't see who's stopping Derrick Henry. And even then, is Awuzie covering A.J. Brown? And then Julio's going to be back probably.
True.
Julio's
True.
been mid.
Even though Julio
Can't say
hasn't
it.
been very, very good, he's still
Playoffs,
Julio.
He's still Julio.
He's still Julio. Their defense has been really good. I'm taking the Titans to go to the Super Bowl, which is something I didn't think I'd say, even though my parents are Titans fans. On the NFC, Bucks, Eagles. I like the Eagles. I think the Bucks win this one pretty handily. Niners, Cowboys.
Oh, really?
I wanted to take the Eagles in the upset, but I just don't see it happening. Niners,
Yeah.
Cowboys. The one thing the Cowboys have going for them is that the Niners' weakness is what the Cowboys do very well, and that's pass the ball. But how much time will Dak get with that
Bosa.
good edge rush from Bosa? I mean, they have a good line. This one's tough.
I mean,
I'm taking Niners here. I mean, Jimmy
Just
G,
the
Niners are
Dak.
explosive this year.
Yeah, just a
Deebo
note.
Samuel. I don't know who's going to cover Deebo Samuel. Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons has been phenomenal.
Right.
It's really a toss-up. This is probably the hardest game.
I don't think he'll guard. I
Right.
don't think he'll be good on Debo though.
I don't know if he's covering Deebo,
No,
but
Jalen Ramsey, though, on
Rams,
Deebo.
Cardinals. This is an interesting one. It's going to be all about how Stafford plays, and I think this Cardinals defense has been solid but not great. Isaiah Simmons has had a good year, but I'll take the
Facts.
Rams in this game. Packers, Niners. Again, another team that does what the Niners struggle with, and that's pass the ball. And I just don't think they can handle it this time. And I think Packers win. Rams and Bucks. Tom Brady losing the receivers. Stafford. I mean, this team's beat them before. I'm gonna go Rams here. Packers, Rams. Wow. I know. There's a part of me that wants to take the Rams just due to the fact that Titans Rams would be a 6th Super Bowl again, 1 yard short. With how the Rams match up to the Packers, I mean the Packers defense is good. They have really good corners in Stokes and Alexander. I think Alexander's playing. Safeties are good. Quarterback wise, I mean they got the edge. Aaron Rodgers better than Stafford. Weapons wise, I mean he does have the number 1 receiver, but Rams have better weapons all around. Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, I think, will make a big impact in this game, even with Aaron Donald on the other side. I'm going to take the Packers, though. I'm not going to be different. Titans, Packers. It's going to be a weird one.
It's a weird one.
It's a weird one. I'm taking the Packers because I feel like even though Aaron Rodgers has seemed to struggle in the last couple big games, I think he gets it done. I mean, I think this is his last year in Green Bay, and I think he's going to do whatever it takes to win it. But it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to come down to the wire. It's going to be a scoring game, I believe, with Derrick Henry and Aaron Rodgers on each end.
I want a shootout Super Bowl.
I think the Packers end up winning this game, and yeah, they're my Super Bowl chance.
Packers.
Yeah.
Interesting. Right. Well, to wrap up the episode here today, I honestly really enjoyed the way that it's turned out. We did some current news with coaches being fired. We did some current news with the college football championship. Went through some of the power rankings for the playoffs, and then we went through our playoff predictions, which I honestly kind of liked. Packers, I see a lot of upside. I really see them doing great, but honestly, I think that's the end of the episode. I think we've reached a little over the hour mark, and yeah, boys, it's been great.
Jeez, happy to be here. First episode.
Yeah, it was fun. Second.
That was
fun.
It
was your first episode, yeah.
Well, first for me. Second episode, but that was fun. Loving this.
It was fun.
All right. Sounds good.